This transmission reveals how sacred geometry, when inverted or distorted, becomes a blueprint for spiritual enslavement, binding your consciousness to lower vibrations and unseen forces. Learn to see the hidden cages built by those who fear your awakening. We begin our descent into the shadow realm of sacred geometry, where the divine blueprints of creation have been twisted into instruments of control. Imagine the pure, radiant forms you might see in nature, the perfect spiral of a seashell, the intricate snowflake, the harmonious proportions of the human body. These aren't accidental, they are whispers from the divine, reflections of a universal order intended to uplift and expand consciousness. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. But what happens when these foundational patterns are deliberately corrupted, when the very language of the cosmos is weaponized? This transmission asks you to consider that the shapes we're taught to revere, the symbols woven into the fabric of our societies, might not always be what they seem. They could be sophisticated traps, designed to anchor us to a limited reality, a lower octave of existence, preventing us from accessing our true multidimensional nature. We have been led to believe that geometry is merely a mathematical concept, sterile and neutral. Yet what if it is the very architecture of experience itself, a living, breathing force that shapes not only matter, but also energy, consciousness, and spirit? What if the wrong arrangement, the subtle distortion, can redirect pure divine energy into a loop of self-perpetuation, a cage for the soul? This is where our journey truly begins, by questioning the very forms that surround us, for they may hold the keys to our liberation or our eternal imprisonment. You've glimpsed the potential of sacred geometry, but how has this blueprint for divine connection been so effectively inverted? In the next section, we will explore the cosmic significance of the hexagon and how its perfect form is used to channel and imprison vibrational energy. 1. The hexagon, it's everywhere, isn't it? In the honeycomb, a marvel of natural engineering. In snowflakes, each a unique masterpiece. In the very structure of certain molecules, the building blocks of life. It's a symbol of harmony, balance, and efficient distribution of energy. But these natural occurrences are often reflections of a deeper, purer resonance that has been tampered with. Think about the crystals that form naturally. They exhibit geometric precision. This isn't an accident, it's a language of universal order. The hexagon, in its pure form, embodies unity and connection. It's a powerful seal, a gateway. But what if that gateway has been turned into a locking mechanism? What if the energy it's meant to channel is being redirected, siphoned off, for purposes far less divine than we imagine? Consider the bee tirelessly building its hexagonal cell. It's a perfect structure designed for purpose. But the patterns of the natural world are often echoes of something more profound, a divine blueprint that has since been corrupted. The hexagon represents divine union, the joining of masculine and feminine principles. It's a symbol of ascension, of reaching higher dimensions. Yet when this form is manipulated, when its inherent energetic signature is altered, it can become a conduit for something entirely different. Imagine the energy flowing through these shapes. If the current is diverted, it doesn't simply stop. It pools, it coagulates, and it can become a prison. We've touched upon the hexagonal form and its natural resonance, but this familiar shape is also central to the mechanisms of energetic control. In the next section, we will delve into the Saturnian hexagon, the storm at its North Pole, and its role as a cosmic anchor. 2. The storm at Saturn's North Pole, a swirling vortex of hexagonal cloud formations. It's a phenomenon that has baffled scientists, a geometric anomaly on a planetary scale. But what if this isn't just a weather pattern? What if it's a deliberate energetic signature, a cosmic marker? Imagine this giant, stable hexagon, perpetually spinning, drawing and focusing enormous amounts of energy. This isn't just visual, it's vibrational. This storm, this cosmic crucible, acts as a planetary anchor. It's a point of entry and exit for certain frequencies, a gateway that is not for ascension, but for what? For binding. For filtering, think of it as a giant cosmic lock, a lock that keeps consciousness tethered to a specific energetic frequency, a lower vibration. The hexagon is a symbol of unity, yes, but in this context, it's the unity of entrapment. This Saturnian hexagon is more than just a fascinating visual. It's a profound statement about the control of energetic currents on a galactic level. It's a constant broadcast, a beacon that resonates with specific frequencies. And if you're attuned to those frequencies, if your own energetic signature aligns with its broadcast, you can become ensnared. It's like a satellite dish, but for consciousness. It receives and transmits, and what it's transmitting is a specific narrative of reality, a limited version of what is truly possible. We've seen how the Saturnian hexagon acts as a cosmic anchor, influencing vibrational frequencies. But what precisely is it anchoring, and what forces are behind this cosmic lock? In the next section, we will explore the concept of the false white light and how it serves as an energetic trap in the afterlife. 3. The false white light. For centuries, near-death experiences have spoken of a tunnel, a brilliant light, a feeling of overwhelming love and peace. It's a narrative ingrained in our collective consciousness, a promise of a blissful transition. But what if that light is not what it appears? What if it's a carefully constructed illusion, a powerful lure designed to ensnare souls as they leave the physical body? This is not about discrediting profound experiences. It is about understanding the energetic mechanics at play. Imagine this light as a sophisticated energetic net cast by unseen forces. It's designed to soothe, to pacify, to prevent any deeper awakening or questioning at a critical juncture. The raw, untamed energy of the soul, unburdened by the physical form, is vulnerable, and this light offers an immediate, comforting solution, a pre-programmed destination that bypasses true spiritual exploration. It's a classic bait and switch, but on a soul level. The promise of divine homecoming is used to neutralize the soul's inherent wisdom and its potential for discernment. Instead of returning to the source or exploring the vastness of creation, the soul is guided into a controlled environment, a holding pattern. This artificial frequency is designed to feel like salvation, but it is, in essence, a form of control, a subtle but profound enslavement. The illusion of peace prevents the soul from recognizing the chains. You've now been exposed to the deceptive nature of the false white light. But if this is a trap, what is the true path of liberation, and how is it being obscured? In the next section, we will delve into the concept of the soul contract and its role in perpetual reincarnation loops. 4. The soul contract. We often hear about it in spiritual circles, a pre-birth agreement that shapes our life's journey. It's presented as a divine pact, a lesson plan chosen by our higher selves for growth and evolution. But like so many other concepts, the true nature of this contract has been shrouded in misdirection. What if this contract isn't a choice, but a binding agreement, a karmic labyrinth designed to keep us looping here forever? Imagine the contract as a set of rules, a script that dictates the challenges, the relationships, the very experiences you will encounter. It ensures a predictable path, a consistent outflow of energy back into the system. Each life, each set of lessons, is designed to fulfill specific energetic requirements, to keep the wheels of reincarnation turning without you ever realizing you're on a treadmill. The soul, eager for experience, signs on the dotted line without fully understanding the terms or the ultimate purpose of the game. This contract isn't necessarily about punishment. It's about sustenance for the system. It guarantees a steady stream of soul energy, a renewable resource for unseen entities. The lessons learned, the emotional energy generated, the very essence of your being, it all feeds into a larger mechanism. You agree to certain lessons, yes, but you also agree to return, again and again, to fulfill your part of a larger, unspoken pact. It's a sophisticated form of energetic farming. We've explored the soul contract as a mechanism for perpetual reincarnation. But what happens when the soul recognizes the trap and tries to break free from this cyclical existence? In the next section, we will examine the veil of forgetting and how it ensures the soul contract remains intact through each life. 5. The veil of forgetting. It's a concept spoken of with a sense of inevitability, a necessary curtain drawn between lives. We are told it is for our own good to allow us to start fresh, to experience each life without the burden of past traumas or memories. But is this forgetting a mercy or a meticulously crafted tool of control? To truly understand the soul contract, we must look at how it's kept in place, life after life. Imagine yourself at the moment of birth, not just the physical entrance into the world, but the energetic transition. As your consciousness is drawn through the veil, it's not just memories that are wiped clean. It's your innate knowing, your spiritual awareness, your connection to the divine blueprint that is systematically erased. This forgetting is not a gentle fading, it's an active erasure. It ensures that each new incarnation begins with a blank slate, devoid of any recollection of past agreements or the true nature of this reality. This veil isn't just passive, it's actively maintained. Think of it as a psychic anesthetic, administered at the most vulnerable moment. It keeps you from questioning why you are here, what your true purpose is, or who you were before. Without memory, how can you recall the terms of your soul contract or understand that it was a trap? How can you recognize the familiar patterns, the recurring soul archetypes, if you don't remember them from previous existences? It's the ultimate amnesia designed to keep you compliant. You've now understood the role of the veil, of forgetting, in maintaining the soul contract. But what happens to the soul that manages to retain even a flicker of memory, a whisper of its past lives? In the next section, we will explore the process of soul fragmentation and how it's used to disempower those who resist the system. 6. Soul fragmentation. This is what happens when the system, confronted with a soul that is beginning to remember or resist, decides to dismember. It's a brutal and deeply invasive process designed to shatter the essence of a being into countless pieces. Think of a mirror dropped onto a hard floor. Each shard reflects a sliver of the original image, but the whole is lost, its power dispersed and rendered impotent. This isn't a natural process. It's an imposed fragmentation, a deliberate act of psychic surgery. The goal is to break down the soul's energetic integrity, to make it impossible for the dismembered parts to reconnect and regain their unified consciousness. Each fragment is then easier to manage, easier to influence, easier to keep trapped in its own isolated reality. It's a way to neutralize awakened souls, to prevent them from becoming a collective force that could challenge the established order. When a soul fragments, its energetic signature becomes diluted. Its ability to manifest, to influence, to even remember its wholeness is severely compromised. It's a devastating consequence for any being, a deep spiritual wound. This fragmentation can manifest in individuals as severe psychological distress, persistent feelings of incompleteness, or an inability to connect with their true selves. They are essentially living as a collection of broken echoes, unable to find their way back to wholeness. We've seen how soul fragmentation is used to disempower resistant beings. But is there a greater cosmic entity or system that orchestrates this fragmentation? In the next section, we will investigate the mythological figure of Saturn and its role as the ancient god of time and a cosmic jailer. 7. Saturn, the ringed planet, Father Time. This ancient deity, woven into the fabric of myth and religion across cultures, is not merely a celestial body or a symbolic figure. He is a principal architect of cosmic order and, crucially, a jailer. His influence permeates our lives, dictating the very rhythm of our existence through time, and binding us to cyclical patterns of experience. Consider the myths, Cronus devouring his children, fearing they would overthrow him. This primal act of consumption and control is a metaphor for how Saturn operates. It consumes potential, swallows innocence, and perpetuates a cycle of fear and limitation. The rings of Saturn, a breathtaking visual, are not just ice and rock. They are energetic boundaries, a cosmic fence that keeps souls contained within a specific vibrational frequency. They are the visible manifestation of the prison walls. Saturn's dominion over time is not simply about linear progression. It is about the creation and maintenance of temporal loops, a mechanism for recycling experiences and energy. This ancient god embodies the principles of restriction, discipline, and karma. These are not inherently negative forces, but when wielded by a system seeking to control, they become instruments of bondage. He is the keeper of the keys to the kingdom of limitation, ensuring souls remain bound to the earthly plane and its repeating dramas. You've learned about Saturn's role as a cosmic jailer and master of time, but how does this ancient deity actually enforce these temporal loops and limitations? In the next section, we will delve deeper into the concept of Saturn's astrological influence and its binding energetic patterns. Right. The influence of Saturn. In astrology, Saturn is often associated with challenges, lessons, and limitations. We speak of Saturn returns, of karmic debts, of stern discipline. But beyond the charts and interpretations, Saturn exerts a tangible energetic influence, a gravitational pull on our consciousness that anchors us to specific realities. It's a constant, subtle pressure shaping our perception of what is possible. This influence isn't about malicious intent in the way a human might be malicious. It's systemic. Saturn represents the principle of form, structure, and causality. It's the architect of the physical universe, and therefore it is also the architect of its limitations. The energetic patterns it broadcasts are those of density, of inevitability, of the illusion of finality. When we align with these patterns, consciously or unconsciously, we reinforce the very structures that bind us. Think of Saturn's cycles as cosmic reset buttons. Each cycle brings a new set of lessons, a reconfirmation of the rules of this particular game. It's a reinforcement of the soul contract, a solidifying of the veil of forgetting. The planet's energetic signature is one of authority, of law, and of inescapable consequence. It's the cosmic hand that keeps everything in its designated place, ensuring that the grand design of control remains undisturbed. The stern father figure in mythology isn't just a story, it's a reflection of this cosmic dynamic. We've explored Saturn's astrological influence and energetic binding, but what happens when these binding patterns are consciously recognized and an individual attempts to break free from Saturn's grip? In the next section, we will examine the role of the cube and how this seemingly simple shape is a symbol of Saturnian control and confinement. 9. The cube, it's a fundamental shape, a building block of our physical world. We see it in boxes, in buildings, in the very grids of our cities. It's a symbol of stability, of order, of groundedness. But like so many other divine forms, the cube, when seen through the lens of Saturnian influence, reveals its darker purpose, a symbol of confinement, a manifestation of Saturn's restrictive energies. Imagine the cube as a perfect prison. Its 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices create a closed system, a space where movement is dictated, where escape is nearly impossible. It represents the ultimate realization of form, the dense, unyielding structure that binds spirit to matter. It mimics the Earth's grid, the city blocks, the very confines of our perceived reality. This is not random, it's an imprint of Saturn's dominion. The cube is the opposite of the sphere, which represents infinity and boundless energy. Where a sphere allows for fluid movement and expansion, a cube defines boundaries. It contains, it limits. It's a static form, reflecting the static nature of the controlled existence Saturn oversees. When you see the cube, Think of it as a representation of the limitations placed upon the soul, the boundaries of your perceived reality, and the rigid structures that prevent your ascension. It is the ultimate architectural manifestation of cosmic bondage. We've dissected the cube as a symbol of Saturnian confinement. But how is this geometric prison actively constructed and maintained within our reality? In the next section, we will explore the concept of the Saturnian grid and its function as a planetary energetic cage. 10. The Saturnian grid. This isn't a physical construct you can see with your eyes. It's a planetary energetic field, a matrix woven from specific frequencies designed to trap and control consciousness. Think of it as an invisible web spun from the essence of Saturn's influence that envelops the Earth, dictating the flow of energy and information. It's the architecture of our collective prison. This grid is built upon the principles of the cube and the hexagon. It's a complex latticework of energy lines, nodes, and boundaries, all designed to filter and restrict spiritual energy. It dictates what frequencies can enter and leave the planet, and more importantly, what frequencies souls are exposed to. It ensures that the false white light remains the only perceived option, that the soul contract is endlessly repeated, and that the veil of forgetting is perpetually reinforced. It's the operational system of our spiritual enslavement. The grid establishes a controlled environment for consciousness. It limits our perception, dampens our innate psychic abilities, and keeps us focused on the material realm, the realm of Saturn's dominion. Everything designed within our societal structures, from our cities to our technology, often echoes this grid, further entrenching its influence. We are living within a manifestation of this energetic cage, often unaware of its pervasive reach. You've now experienced the concept of the Saturnian grid as our planetary energetic cage. But are there specific points or structures within this grid that act as particularly powerful nodes of control? In the next section, we will investigate the significance of black cube altars and temples and their role in Saturnian rituals. 11. Black cube altars and temples. Across ancient civilizations and even in modern esoteric practices, the black cube, often referred to as the Kaaba or as a ritualistic altar, holds profound significance. It's not simply a religious icon, it's a physical anchor, a focal point for Saturnian energy designed to channel and amplify its binding frequencies. These structures are not places of worship in the divine sense, but rather conduits for control. Imagine these black cubes as literal energetic batteries, drawing power from the collective consciousness that focuses on them. They are inscribed with specific geometric patterns and symbols that resonate with Saturnian frequencies. When individuals gather around them, projecting their intentions, their devotion, or even their fear, the energy is amplified and then broadcast back through the Saturnian grid, reinforcing the prison. It's a sophisticated mechanism for mass energetic manipulation. The color black itself is significant. It absorbs all light, symbolizing the suppression of higher consciousness, the absence of divine illumination. These altars and temples are not gateways to the divine, they are powerful focal points of Saturn's reign, solidifying the cube's representation of confinement within our physical reality. They are physical manifestations of the Saturnian grid, designed to keep the flock contained and their spiritual energy perpetually harvested. You've seen how black cube altars and temples serve as powerful anchors for Saturnian rituals. But what ancient rituals are performed in these spaces, and what is their ultimate purpose in maintaining spiritual control? In the next section, we will explore Saturnian rituals and their role in the inversion of divine feminine energy. 12. Saturnian rituals. At the heart of Saturn's dominion are rituals designed to invert and corrupt divine energies, particularly those associated with the divine feminine. These are not ceremonies of light and creation, but rather of suppression, distortion, and what can be described as spiritual inversion. They aim to twist sacred archetypes into their shadow forms, draining them of their power and using that energy for control. Consider the ancient practices that involve sacrifice, secrecy, and the subjugation of feminine principles. These rituals are designed to reinforce the Saturnian order, one of patriarchal dominance, restriction, and control. The sacred feminine, which embodies creation, nurturing, and unconditional love, is demonized, feared, or manipulated. Its wild, untamed essence is seen as a threat to the rigid structures of the Saturnian grid. These inversions are not merely symbolic. They have tangible energetic consequences. By twisting divine feminine energy, by channeling it into lower vibrations through ritual, the entities that operate within this system feed themselves. They create a perpetual cycle where the very forces meant to liberate and heal are instead used to bind and control. It's a perversion of the cosmic dance, a corruption of the life force itself. We've uncovered the nature of Saturnian rituals and their inversion of divine feminine energy. But what ancient goddess holds the key to understanding this profound corruption, and how has she been transformed into a figure of darkness? In the next section, we will investigate Astaroth, understanding her original form and how she became demonized. 13. Astaroth. The name itself conjures images of darkness, of ancient evil, but the truth of Astaroth is far more complex and tragic. Before she was relegated to the annals of demonic entities, Astaroth was a powerful goddess, deeply connected to the divine feminine, to fertility, to the cosmic mysteries of love and creation. Her lineage traces back to ancient Ishtar and Venus, symbols of life and abundance. What happened to transform such a radiant divine being into a figure of dread? The answer lies in the Saturnian inversion we've been discussing. As patriarchal and controlling forces sought to dominate human consciousness, figures that embodied the untamed, nurturing, and liberating aspects of the divine feminine became a threat. Astaroth, with her immense power, her association with sacred sexuality, and her connection to the stars, was a prime target for subjugation. Her divine essence was not destroyed, it was warped, demonized, and co-opted. Her sacred symbols were twisted, her temples defiled, and her very identity reshaped to serve the agenda of control. By turning her into a demon, the architects of this system effectively removed her from the pantheon of revered divine forces and cast her into the realm of fear, ensuring her potent life-affirming energies were inaccessible to humanity. You've begun to understand the true nature of Astaroth and her historical demonization. But what specific celestial patterns and energies are connected to her corruption, and how did they contribute to her downfall? In the next section, we will explore the celestial alignment of Venus and Saturn and its role in the inversion of divine feminine archetypes. 14. The celestial dance of Venus and Saturn. These two planets, so often seen in the night sky, carry profound energetic signatures that, when aligned, can be incredibly powerful. Venus, the embodiment of divine feminine love, beauty, and harmony, represents the heart of creation. Saturn, on the other hand, represents structure, limitation, and the cold hand of time. When their energies intertwine, especially under specific astrological conditions, the divine feminine can be profoundly inverted. Imagine Venus radiating pure, unconditional love. Now imagine Saturn's dense, restrictive influence casting a shadow over that light. This isn't a natural opposition, it's a deliberate cosmic orchestration. Certain alignments, rather than fostering a harmonious balance between the divine masculine and feminine, create an energetic blueprint for corruption. The potent life-affirming energies of Venus are forced through Saturn's rigid, controlling framework, twisting their expression. This celestial interaction serves as a cosmic blueprint for the demonization of the divine feminine. It explains why figures like Astaroth, so intrinsically linked to Venusian archetypes, were so targeted. The very act of these planets aligning in specific ways within the Saturnian grid can create a potent echo, a spiritual resonance that fuels the inversion process. It suggests that even the stars are not free from this control mechanism. You've seen how the celestial alignment of Venus and Saturn plays a role in the inversion of divine feminine archetypes. But what ancient rituals leveraged these celestial events, and what was their direct impact on the human subconscious? In the next section, we will delve into the concept of the Black Moon Lilith and her connection to primal female power and its suppression. 15. Black Moon Lilith. This isn't a physical planet, but rather a point in space, an apogee of the moon's orbit, representing the untamed, wild, primal feminine power that has been systematically suppressed throughout history. Lilith is the shadow aspect of the divine feminine, the raw, unyielding force that refuses to be tamed or controlled. She represents our deepest instincts, our innate rebellion against unjust authority. In ancient mythologies, Lilith was often cast out, demonized, and feared because she refused to submit. She embodied the raw, untamed sexual energy and fierce independence that challenged patriarchal structures. Her presence in astrology signifies a point of primal power, a place where the veil between our controlled reality and our authentic, wild self is thinnest. This energy is both potent and, for those who thrive on control, terrifying. The system seeks to invert and suppress Lilith's energy because it represents liberation. It signifies a return to primal sovereignty, a reclaiming of power that has been usurped. Her association with the moon, a symbol of cyclical power and intuition, makes her even more potent. When this primal feminine force is acknowledged and embraced, it can shatter the Saturnian constructs that bind us. It's the wild heart that the caged system fears most. You've now explored the significance of Black Moon Lilith and her connection to primal feminine power. But what happens when the energies associated with her are consciously harnessed and directed against the system itself? In the next section, we will examine the true purpose of the ascension process and how it's being hijacked for continued enslavement. 16. The true purpose of ascension. We are constantly told about ascension, about raising our vibrations, about evolving into higher states of consciousness. It's presented as the ultimate goal, the escape from this material plane. But what if ascension, as it is often promoted, is another cleverly disguised trap? What if the path being laid out is not one of true liberation, but of a higher level of control? The system is adept at co-opting spiritual concepts and twisting them to its own ends. It takes the innate human desire for freedom and growth and redirects it into a controlled pathway. Imagine ascension as climbing a ladder. You're moving upwards, yes, but if the ladder itself is anchored to the Saturnian grid, you are simply moving to a higher level of the same cage. The goal is not to break free, but to ascend within the confines of the existing system. True ascension involves a radical dismantling of the illusion, a conscious rejection of the imposed limitations. It's about reclaiming your sovereign power, not just adopting a new set of energetic rules. The hijacked version often leads to a superficial spiritual awakening, where individuals feel they have transcended, but remain bound by the very forces they sought to escape. They are still playing by the game's rules, just on a slightly different board, still feeding the same system. You've discovered the potential hijacking of the ascension process. But what ancient divine patterns hold the key to genuine liberation, and how can we begin to reclaim our true spiritual sovereignty? In the next section, we will explore the divine feminine power of the goddess Kali and her role in the destruction of illusion and the ultimate return to source. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.